everybody. Good evening. Actually, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are tuning in from. Okay, so once again, hi everybody. My name is Pete. Welcome to tonight's live stream for what's happening, the interest rate. Okay, so the Federal Reserve just announced the latest interest rate decision, and this sent wave throughout, right, the stock market and also the property market. So today, all right, we got a lot of requests about, Pete, can you come on to talk about this? What are your views? But once again, I can never do interest rate by myself, okay, right? Because I always say this, recently, right? Wow, recently got very sad news. The sad news is what? The sad news is Charlie Munger passed away. But Charlie Munger, although he passed away, his wisdom is always with us. And one of his most famous phrases is know your limits and stay well within it. Okay, so to me, I know interest rate, while I'm quite certain about interest rate, how it affects the stock market, which I want to talk about tonight as well. But the other segment about the real estate, the property market, how does it affect mortgage loan is something that I definitely need to bring on another expert to go through with me. Okay, so today we have once again with us our resident interest rate and mortgage expert, okay, Ethan with us. All right, let me bring on Ethan.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hi again.
Hi.
Thank you for having me once again, Pete. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Right. So last time we managed to do it live with both of us at the same location, but this round, unfortunately, we can't. But nevertheless, we're going to have a fantastic live stream. We're going to have a great session. And we're going to talk everything under the moon or sun about the interest rate. Okay, so guys, once again, for those of you who are watching this, regardless from which social media, if you have questions, but maybe as we start, can you all hear us clearly? If you can hear us clearly, hear us well, do let us know. Okay, let me just double check. Because last round we had a little bit of a kick out, I remember. Okay, so when the live stream went down after the first minute, but this round, okay, I think it's fine. We are so far, I think, a few minutes into it, and we are okay. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So yes. So got many of you who are with us. So those of you who are with us, the one thing I want to ask you is this: how do you feel about the interest rate? Right? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Okay. Right. So today, what I invited Ethan to do, to go through, is to once again bring everyone through the 101 about mortgage, because I know many of you here might be the first time watching this live stream about interest rate. Actually, we do this almost on a monthly basis already, ever since Federal Reserve keep making that decision on a monthly basis. So every time they make a decision, we'll come up and we'll give our opinion and commentary. But I think many of you might be watching this for the first time, so we'll go through the first part 101 first, right? Correct, Ethan?
Yes.
101 first, okay? Then Ethan at the back end, I can tell you, he has something super interesting. He just told me just now before we started, we had a pre-show chat, right? He just got the latest interest rate from the banks, hot off the oven, right? As of when, Ethan? As of today. Today, right? So guys, for those of you who has a mortgage loan, a bank loan, I think most of us, 99% of us, right?
It's better to have a mortgage as compared to paying rent, because
true.
You cannot pay for rent with your CPF, yes?
Okay, so for those of you with a mortgage loan, you're wondering what to do. Should you refinance or should you hold this current rate? Or in fact, I think one of the most common questions is, should I hold fixed rate or should I hold floating? We're going to answer all these tonight, right? At the back end. And we also go through like, how does this whole thing affect both the stock market and the property market at the end? Okay, but before we get started, last round when we ended, we had a friendly bet. Okay, so I bet that the Federal Reserve will hold the rates and not do anything, and Ethan bet that the Federal Reserve will just increase that one last time, because they actually promised for one last time in the past, correct? And drum roll, the answer is the Federal Reserve held the rate steady. Okay, so this year no more rate increase rate. That's the end of it. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So my friend, where's my $10?
Sorry, here you go. Okay, I'm gonna send it over to you.
Wow, I think. Oh, guys, you see, this is called the real digital money. Okay. What cryptocurrency? This is digital money. Okay. CBDC, Central Bank. If I put this close enough, this become my live stream face. Right. So guys, thanks for the interest. Okay, and no, just joking lah. All right, thanks Ethan for the $10. But really,
No problem. I'm happy to lose this one.
I think Ethan more than happy to sacrifice the $10 for all our interests. Because I think all of you from here on will have the possibility of paying lower interest rate. Okay. All right. But so before we talk about current rates and stuff, so Ethan, maybe let's just talk about very broadly, right, on a macro basis. So what did the Federal Reserve say this round for this FOMC? Any key highlights there?
Okay, so I watched the whole live stream so that you guys don't have to. One of the few highlights that he said, right, is, okay, you all need to understand the FOMC got two mandates. Number one is price stability, which means inflation needs to come down. The second one, right, is their second, not so important, but now is getting more and more important role, which is full employment, which means they try their best not to crash the market. Right? So at this point of time, they are actually slowing down, and one of the key highlights is they are going to consider slowing down, but they have to take the data as it comes, depending on where inflation is. If inflation suddenly spike back up, then they might want to increase, but then this is a very big might. As we can see from the inflation data, it actually come down to 3.1% already. So we are trying to really...
Is there something you want me to show? Is there anything you want me to show? No.
It's okay lah. I think the inflation data is at 3.1. I can show it. Oh, wait, 1 second.
Hey, bro, you must understand, not everybody read the whole report though.
Okay. So if you are looking at where I pull up the...
Yeah. Actually, I also have it. I think let me see. I'm just lazy.
No problem. I got it up already.
Okay, sweet. Okay, let me make it bigger for everybody to see.
Okay, so you're looking at the US inflation rate, right? The good thing is it is coming down steadily. But last time it actually bounced at 3%, and then now it's at 3.1. So one thing is that the US inflation rate is one of the things that they look at, and I think looking at where it is looking to go, right, it is taking a downward trajectory already, and that's why they're easing off the brake. The last live stream, you actually said approaching the band, then this is where they want to slow down. And I think this is when they also understand that there is a lagging effect for the stock market and the general economy. So this is when I think they're slowing down. And one thing very important is that they say that they are going to consider lowering rates before it reaches the 2% target, because if by the time it reaches 2%, they would have overcorrected already.
Correct. So it's just like the driving analogy I talked about last week. You know, at the destination is 2%. So if you're reaching the destination already, you cannot be still traveling at 100 miles per hour. You will pass the destination and just go in the direction. So I think the Federal Reserve, while they are not the best steward of the economy in many ways, but they do learn from their past mistakes, right? They overcorrected, for example, during COVID, and they held the zero rates for too long, and that caused the inflation. So this time around, I think they are quite savvy. They see that the inflation is slowing down, and then they just say, hey, let's just take just take the pedal off a bit, let the vehicle start to slow down. Then eventually, then they will really hit the 2%. I think that's what they're trying to achieve.
I agree, but it is something that is needed. It's either they do that or they let the economy crash. And I think, honestly, disaster averted. I'm a big fan of what they do.
Nobody is in the mood for that. Election is coming. Okay, election is coming next year for a lot of people. For US, for Singapore, right? I think Taiwan is undergoing an election right now. So a lot of political shift, right? And I don't think anyone's in the mood to say, hey, I want to run for president. Let me just crash the economy first and see how it goes. Nobody is going to elect you, my friend. Okay, so
it's true.
Okay, so they are going to start to slow down. They already held the rates. Did they talk about like what's potentially happening in 2024? How many cuts are they thinking about? I think in the news they were saying, let me see, the news they were saying like three times, right?
Correct.
3 cuts in
So
2024.
4.6 later the slide will show.
Yeah. 4.6. Okay. And I just want to, maybe before I pass it to Ethan to go through a bit of his macro, I like this chart a lot. This is the dot plot. Okay. So hey guys, if you all remember, this was back in the March period. Okay, so this was March. Then this is June. Okay, for those of you who are new, hey, what is dot plot, right? Okay, so basically each of the governor in the Federal Reserve, right? Each of the president actually, they're given one dot per year. Okay, to place their dot where they think the interest rate should be. And you can see from March to June, generally the consensus is they are going to push more towards lower and lower. You see more and more dots at the bottom end. Okay, so where are we right now for this round, right? The December round. Okay, and it is here. Now, no surprises that all of them agree on the rate of 2023 because like how many days left only, okay? But you can see the general average here is about 4.5 for next year, 4.5, and about 3.5 or even to 3.25, depending on how many dots you can see here. That's 2025. Okay, 2024 over here, 2025. By 2026, the general consensus is it will go below 3 already. Right? Correct. And then beyond that, they expect to go back down to 2.5. Right. So for those of you who are planning housing, you're looking at how much loan you can take, right? Later, I think Ethan can show you. There is always a spread between the US Federal Reserve rates and the Singapore SORA. Right. Then you can use that interest rate to kind of plan your housing choice, right? Because in the long term, we are not going to see the current rates of like US Federal Reserve at 5 or 4. We are looking at US 2.5, which translates to Singapore, how much? Roughly how much? Maybe 1+. Yeah. So if you 1+, you add a spread, maybe 2. Something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay?
But there's a lot of factors involved. Like, sometimes, right, the bank got too much cash. Then they
they lay long, they give you discount.
Yeah, they lay long, which is why sometimes, previously the 1 year fixed at 3%. Wow, say that one everybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a whole system, but we only get to choose between fixed and float, and we always need to pay for mortgage. So we choose the smartest rate possible. So yeah.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so maybe let me bring up your slide right now.
One more thing to add.
One more thing. Okay, come.
So the thing is, the dot plot and everything is the best guide that we can possibly get, but even Jerome Powell cannot predict where interest rates are going to go. Okay, we are not intending to predict, but we can.
We won't predict, to be honest.
This is what we can try to guesstimate. We are trying to make the better decision based on the incoming data. A little bit like Jerome Powell, but more local context. Yes.
Even more power.
Hopefully.
Okay, come. Let me bring this up right now. Okay, can.
Excellent. So today we want to start looking at where Singapore interest rates is going to go, which is why it is very important for us to consider looking at the US interest rates also. Because you see, right, domestic interest rates have been typically below the US interest rates. Yeah, give me a moment. They have been typically below the US interest rates. And because of that, right,
why? Just curious.
Okay, because you see, US interest rates, right, is basically the big daddy of the world. Everything is settled in US dollars.
Yeah.
Your oil settled in US dollar. Everything is basically there. And they are the reserve currency of the world, and which is why most of the why we actually take cue from there. If we are looking at the correlation, we actually have 90 over. Later, I'll get into that. But more importantly, Singapore is a very small and open economy. By looking at the MAS doctrine, right, you'll be able to see, right? Wait, give me a second.
Let me make it bigger. Okay.
I can make it bigger over here. So over here, you will be able to see that the interest rates in Singapore are largely determined by foreign interest rate and typically below US interest rates. And so because of that, like what you said just now in the dot plot, right? This is, I think, where we can get our best guidance, where we are able to see where they are likely to go, and from there we can actually make a very good estimate on SORA and maybe which rates to take, whether we take fixed or floating. And to start things off, right, I want to give you all a little bit of an introduction about mortgage for those people that are tuning in, or to give you guys a little bit of a refresher. So the home loan, you can take up to 75% of your home, and this is one of the cheapest rate possible. You get to choose between fixed and floating, and if your rate is below inflation, you automatically win. Does that make sense? All right. And then your monthly payments, right, will go into interest and principal. So what happens is your outstanding loan gets lowered over time. Okay. And then for us, we work with all the banks so that we are one channel so that you can come into. We are rated 4.9 stars on Google, and we have the SAMP accreditation. So we are here to help you get the best possible rates while helping you avoid all the fees. Right? So one of the typical loan structure between these two, right, is that after the fixed period, after the lock-in period, right, you would see the thereafter rates usually is quite hantam rate.
Yeah, it's very high at 1%.
Yeah, plus 1%. So if you are looking at today's context, right, you're looking at 4.75%. So
yeah, it's crazy.
If you're looking at 4.75%, you shift to 3.1%, the amount of money that you save is going to be a lot more, right? And the timeline for you guys, right, to reach out to us, right, is before your new purchase. Because over here, we'll be able to help you we'll be able to help you calculate roughly how much you'll be able to buy your property for. And if you're looking at resale, you can actually look at refinancing a little bit sooner so that you'll be able to extend your loan tenure.
If for those of you who are not aware, BUC stands for Building Under Construction. Basically, new launch. Oh.
And you know, like BUC, right, also got a smarter strategy to pick one. So, Pete, I ask you.
Wow, so, like...
No, I believe you got this ready. So you see, right, if you are looking at interest rates to fall, right, do you think the 1 month SORA rate, right, because 1 month SORA, they take the average for the last month. 3 months SORA, they take the average for the last 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Correct. When interest rate falling, which one cheaper?
One.
Correct. So the thing is,
yeah.
No, don't worry. I trust you. I know that you got this. So like, one thing is like,
I say wrongly.
It's okay lah. It's okay because we're here to help anyways.
Yeah.
So you know, like even like picking the right type of rates it is very important because ultimately what you want to do is save the most money possible. Correct. So what we have, right, as a case study over here, what we do, right, to help people know how much they can actually borrow, right, is looking at their basic income, their NOA, and then calculating all the numbers down to the budget calculator. Even the tax we also calculate for you, so that you know exactly how much you spend.
Yeah.
So this is where you and I, we are going. Oh yeah, by the way, John and Sally, they are arbitrary. This is not customer information. Yeah.
If your name is Sally or if your name is John, it is purely coincidental.
Purely coincidental. So what we might want to do is to maybe run through a little bit of a case scenario where we are able to show you roughly how much you'll be able to borrow based on the calculation.
Hey, I just add in here, right? While you're setting up, I do a lot of one-on-one property consultation and research for my clients, right? And I can tell you, I'm very shocked, right, at how many people hey guys, I don't know if you all are like that. How many people, when they want to buy property, they have no clue how much they can borrow, right? That's number one. And then number two is when they found out how much they can borrow, is a lot of times is they either underestimate themselves, right? That means they think that, hey, maybe I can borrow 1 million, but end up actually they can borrow like up to 1.6, right? And to me that is good in a way. It's conservative, but you are not using your fullest potential. That's number one. So please, if you want to buy a property, it makes sense to really just run through an exercise like this, right? To get a sense like what exactly is your loan amount, right? Because even a lot of the property agents out there, I mean, there are good ones as well, but I've seen a lot that also don't know one or they buay hiao one, they really don't know what to do. So guys, very important to get all these numbers at your fingertip, so that when you go and look at property, right, you don't just like shop for fun. You are able to know that, okay, I can afford this or I cannot afford this, right? So Ethan, maybe it'll be good to share with them, right? Like, for example, given a certain income, like in this case, for let's say John and Sally, right? How do you calculate? Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, most importantly, we need to be able to get the average age and everything, and this is based on a lot of like the accessible income and what have you lah. So we're gonna run through a case, right? You see, and one of the best things, right, when you want to take mortgage, you need to be able to take out all your loans. If you are able to take out your loans, right, you can see the amount that increases is quite significant.
You can make it bigger a bit more. Okay, can. Yeah.
Okay. So you can see if we were to delete the monthly debt, right? For example, if you were to pay down your car or to make it disappear, then what happens, right?
Make it disappear.
Is that you?
Okay, those of you who don't know what Ethan means, when you go for his mortgage consultation. By the way, guys, for those of you who are watching this, Ethan is offering his mortgage consultation 100% complimentary. Okay, so please take full advantage of it. If you don't know what he meant by the mortgage, so your car loan can disappear, just go and talk to him. Okay, next.
Okay, then if you were to look at all of this, right, sometimes you got extra cash, right, and then if you were to show the banks that you got extra cash, you can also increase the amount of money that you have, especially if you got cash lying around. Right?
Ethan, maybe you share them like what is the pledge, unpledge, what it means. Yeah.
Okay, so for pledging your funds, right, you put your money inside the bank for a fixed period of time. So for example, if you were to put like $50,000 in there, or you will be able to see that your loan size actually increases also.
Yep.
If you were to put, and it is important who you put it with. So for example, if you were to put with okay, this case we increase the number so that we'll be able to see a little bit more obvious. So it is important to know who you put the money in. So for example, in this case, Sally is 29 years old and John is 40. So if you were to put the money with Sally, right, you say $500,000, right, you would see that the maximum tenure actually increase because you put more under the younger person and increase the younger person.
Oh, it's like that one.
Yes. And if
I never knew that. Okay. I always thought the pledging doesn't matter who pledge one because it's like one account.
No, you see, 27 years. It depends on who you show. This is important to know, like where you put your money.
Okay.
Understand that?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Wow. Very important.
And then,
honestly, I didn't think that I will still learn something about mortgage at this stage, but okay.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, man.
Yeah, man, that's what you are here for, man. Okay, come.
And the next portion, right, is that you see, based on this loan size, right, sometimes you don't want to buy a $2.4 million house.
Yep.
Correct? So if we were to lower it, right, we actually do the budget calculation for you also. So you see the loan size drops to here, and we actually have the stamp duty calculated based on the IRAS numbers over here, so that we can give you exactly how much your total outlay is and how much cash and CPF you need. Yeah. Oh. And if you need, if you got lesser CPF, right, don't worry, because we also can calculate, right, how much cash you will need in a situation where you don't have that much. Yeah.
Hey, Ethan, Kelvin has a question. When you say pledge, right, is it a fixed D or what could it be? Like what would the bank consider as pledge?
Okay, so a pledge amount, right? Okay, so over here, let's say we put the pledge in of $50,000. This is a fixed deposit that is with the bank for either 4 years or until you leave the bank. So this is money that you cannot touch. Whereas, right, for unpledged, right, this is where you show the bank that, hey, look, I got $50,000. Can you lend me a bit more money? And they'll be able to.
Okay. But the cannot touch one, right? Is it in a savings account or could it be a fixed deposit?
It has to be in a fixed deposit account.
And it has to be savings account or fixed deposit? Sorry.
Fixed deposit.
Fixed deposit. Oh, okay. So
is sometimes the bank pay you the miserable percent, not the
Oh,
fixed.
not the current rate. They will pay you the bank their own rate.
The banks are profit driven in nature lah. Let's put it that way.
Okay, understand. Okay, can. Okay, come. Okay, continue.
Okay, so it is important because we'll be able to calculate how much you'll be able to spend and how much your budget is, and roughly how much your CPF is gonna, your CPFOA contribution is, and how your cash flow looks like.
After deducting the CPF, right?
Correct. So
Okay, good.
this is one of the few things that we do to be able to value add to our customers.
Yeah, so very good. From this one glance, right, guys, you can see straight away, like for example, how much cash you need for the place, how much CPF you need, right? And you can actually toggle between, like, let's say you got more cash or you got more CPF, then you can kind of play with it.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Great. Oh, and you can change the interest rate there also between fixed and floating.
I put these two so that you roughly be able to see, because at this point of time, like the Sora is roughly about 3.75. You add 0.5, that is 4.25. So you choose between these two, and then you make the best guess, which is where you and I come in, and then talk about which is better lah. Yeah, and so this is what we have over here, and we also do compare like how much money you'll be saving between these two rates lah. Then we can tell you which is better for you.
Which is better.
So
in this case, maybe you take this example, maybe you maximize it a bit. In this example, let's say for John and Sally, given their income, it will be better for them to take the fix.
So today's example, I think that the fixed rate is not bad as compared to the floating. Later we
go through the actual rate, the actual bank rate.
Okay. We talk about it, because you see, the floating always comes with a spread.
Yeah.
So this is where the prediction actually is quite important. And why we can refinance is because why we should refinance, right? Is because, right, doing so, right, allows us to do a few things. Structural changes like extending the loan tenure, gearing up and decoupling sometimes, and maybe even changing the loan ownership. So quite a lot of like things that we can tweak along our consultation. Then we do the best thing that we can do lah. Then to be able to help you save money.
Yeah.
So
to me, the most crucial thing is when you refinance. I don't know how many of y'all know this. Ethan, maybe you can go back to just on that slide, right? There are many benefits here for refinancing. The one of the best benefit is you can extend the loan tenure beyond the standard 65 years.
Correct.
Right. So for those of you who want to know how to do it, and you want a zaichu, you want someone who has very experienced to do it, Ethan is the guy to help you. That one can really make a difference on your mortgage per month, because you can easily add like maybe 5 to 10 years more in your tenure, and your mortgage can change by like 20 to even 30%.
It's quite a lot.
It's a lot.
Quite a lot. So your mortgage can actually reduce from 5.1K, which is quite stressful. But you minus away your CPF, not so stressful as compared to when this is a lot easier .
Oh yeah, perfect. This is the example that I was talking about, right? You see on the left side, your tenure is 33. Your right side, your tenure is 23. And you can see how much difference in terms of like the monthly installment.
Correct. But overall, you also need to be able to save on interest . Then when
to me, the save on interest is like, okay, a bit of detracting here, but to me, it's like a lot of people always say, "Hey Pete, but I go for such a long tenure, then I pay a lot of interest, Then I say, yeah, that is if you pay like 33 years and don't stop lah. But a lot of us, what we do is maybe you buy for 10 years, then you will sell, right? Or you buy for 5 years and then you will sell. To me, the Chinese saying, 远水救不了近火. So your monthly cash flow is more important. Imagine now let's say, you think you got employment issue and whatever, and you still have to pay 5K a month versus 3.8K. Hey, that could be the difference between you defaulting the loan and you continue to stay in the house, Yeah, as simple as that. As simple as that. And to me, is being able to have a lower monthly mortgage, especially if you're a landlord. like me and you're renting it out, right? It makes a lot more sense to get as low a monthly installment as possible, because you're simply not going to hold the property for that long. So the extra interest you pay is not going to be that much on everybody. Okay, so go and ask Ethan out for the one-on-one and his team. Okay, Ethan only got 24 hours, so he cannot meet everybody. Okay,
Yeah, so me and my team will be able to help you lah.
Yeah. And the good news is, recently he enlarged his team, so he got a bit more capacity to have more people. Okay, so I think at this point in time, some of you are asking me how to get Ethan's one-on-one. I'm just gonna put up the link here, right? I already put the link inside the chat already, right? But for the rest of you, okay, it's over here, rebrand.ly/unbeatable loans. It is 100% complimentary. I don't see a reason why, if you have a loan, you wouldn't want an expert to review on it. And Ethan has been, to me, one of the most honest one. Mortgage broker, to be very honest, is that if you don't do anything, they don't make money. Let's be very clear. Okay. But Ethan has been very, very honest to me. Sometimes when I don't need to do anything, he'll tell me, hey, actually, you don't need to do anything. But I secretly think he is playing the long game, right? Because
I have to.
he knows that when he does this, right, then next round, when I need to do something, who will I go back to? Okay, so this is the kind of trap. Okay, not trap, but this is the kind of relationship I don't mind getting into, because I know that this guy has my interests. Okay, so for the rest of you, that's why I bring the best to the table or to the live stream to share with all of you. Okay, so 广告时间完了. Okay, so let's continue the lesson. Let's continue the lesson.
Hey, but I add on to what you said. That is actually very important, no? And the thing is, right, if you extend your loan tenure, means you pay back your loan slower.
Yeah.
But when you take your time to pay back your loan, right, one thing that you avoid, right, is inflation rates.
Yeah, lor. You pay less for monthly, your extra cash you can go and invest, go and do whatever you want. Seriously.
Yeah, and hashtag invest with Pete, man.
Yeah. Hey, guys, by the way, can I just say something very quickly? Ethan, this has nothing to do with you, but let me just,
please.
My Telegram chat, those scammer assholes, maybe I say this, the live stream will go on, right? Okay, but those scammers, they took away my previous Telegram chat link. So you all can see below right now, this one, okay, this one, it's not just invest with Pete. I put real in the front, REAL, invest with Pete. Because if you just type in the link without the word real, you just type invest with Pete, it will actually bring you to a scammer chat, right? And unfortunately, there have been people who were included into it and they kind of got conned. Okay, so I just want to bring this to alert everybody. This is the actual link. This one is where is it? Here. This is the actual link. Okay, real invest with Pete. Be very, very certain, and please don't like they tell you, like, okay, Ethan, I tell you, some people the greed get over them lah. They come to me, right? They say, hey Pete, I thought this is you though. Then I say, wow, how come you think it's me? Then they say, oh Pete, they tell me, wow, I invest the money with them 24 hours, I get back 300%. Then I was like, huh? I was like, the fact that you think it's me, I felt insulted first, number one. And the fact that you believe is real, it just got to show like it's matter of greed. It's not a matter of logic, right? Because if you think about it logically, right, there's nothing on this planet Earth that can give you 300% overnight, unless it's a scam, right? Okay, so guys, be very, very savvy here and join the correct group, invest properly, and myself and Ethan is here to support you also. Okay, Ethan himself is also a support investor also. Okay, all right, okay. Enough about the scammers. I don't want to give them a lot of airtime also. Okay.
No problem. So anyway, I also don't want, I want, in the air of being truthful, right? This is the previous year's inflation rate. So what we do, right? We look at the MAS survey of professional forecasters.
Hey, you were trying to get into this, right? How?
Yeah, haven't yet. But
next time I can legitimately say, hey guys, tonight I'm gonna bring on MAS professional surveyor of interest rate. Wow, professional forecaster.
MAS, if you are listening, I will volunteer my time.
I don't think they're listening.
I don't think so too. But anyways, right, over here they actually have one of the higher track records, and
they are damn accurate. Seriously,
they are damn accurate in terms of their forecast. So if you're looking at their forecast,
go Google this, you'll be shocked.
Yeah, they are very accurate, which is why I like to use their forecast to be able to make my recommendations. So if you're looking at the inflation forecast, right, which is what we want to look at because we need to be able to understand money over time. So while looking at the,
bro, 你一直 scroll 很晕你可以
I trying to find the thing. There we are. So,
okay.
so if you're
Zoom.
zoom,
As
zoom,
big as
zoom,
you
zoom.
can. Go. Okay.
So if you're looking over here, right, correct, you want to look at where interest rates are likely to go in 2024. You can see that their forecast is actually at 3.4%. And their MAS core inflation at 3%. So if your interest rate is in between these two, you're actually possibly going to outbeat inflation by taking your mortgage. So
Yep.
I think extending your loan tenure is a wonderful decision because at the end of the day, this is one way to be able to maximize your portfolio. And honestly, 3.1% in their current mortgage, right, is not difficult to beat.
Yep. It's
Correct?
not
at
difficult
all,
to
right?
beat. It's
Yeah.
very simple.
Damn simple.
Those of you who know how to do options, is very easy to be on. To be honest, honestly, I feel that mortgage loan, right, is one of the best loan to take. Don't take is actually quite lame one. Why? Because it is the cheapest interest, okay, not cheapest, lowest interest rate loan that you can get in Singapore.
Correct.
I guarantee you, you walk into the bank right now, you go to any of the big guys or the small guys, and you just ask, I want to take a personal loan of like $1 million. They will charge you like 4 to even 5%, 6% also have. But if you go take mortgage loan, right, because it's collateralized with a building, 3%, right? 3.5% or something like that, right? Later, Ethan got the latest number, but basically it's way cheaper than what you will get on a personal loan basis, on a credit line basis, or even like, I don't know whatever basis, or even like a wealth banking basis, right? Because it's collateralized. So yeah.
And and you can use your CPF to pay. That's why the default rate very, very little.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at all types of loans, right, I got something to support this. So this is an investor relation deck. I think this one you're quite familiar with.
Yeah, super.
Right. So you will be able to see like what kind of things that they actually lend out to, and housing loan is one of them. And this is one of the cheapest one as compared to everything else because it has one of the lowest default rate. Yeah, so I think this is one of the better loans to take. Got good debt, got bad debt, and I think this is one of the easier things to say that is a good debt lah.
Super good debt, super low default rate. Yeah.
And speaking of that, Pete, those people who already have their property already don't intend to move, right? And they want to take out their money, right? As their property increase over time, right? They can do what's known as a gear up.
Yep.
They'll be able to take out money without selling the property. This is for private property. Then you can 钱赚钱 lah. And
oh, guys, by the way, this is only for private property. You cannot do it with HDB. Even if your HDB is not with the HDB loan. I previously got some weird people. I don't want to say which agency lah. Some agent come and say, "Hey Pete, this one I also can take loan out of the HDB." I say, "No, my friend, you're sorely mistaken." Okay, right? Regardless, is private bank loan or HDB loan or your mother lend you money, you cannot take money out of the HDB equity without selling. The only way you can take it out is sell. Unless you go by the government scheme of like, the sell the remaining lease, buyback, don't know, something lah, right? Okay, if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. Then if you live longer than the house, then good luck, right? But private property can. In fact, I personally did it during the COVID period. I went to do a gear up, I borrow out some 6 figures, then I go and buy in the market. Then when the market go up, actually within a matter of 9 months to a year, I put it back, right? So yeah, you can totally do that, and that's why property to me is such a amazing instrument. You can actually use it as like a little piggy bank. Not little for a lot of you, some of your property is like 3-4 million. Yeah, it's like a freaking barrel of piggy bank that you can use during rainy day, and then when the sun is shining at time, you put it back in. Okay, yeah.
And this is the most boring way to become a millionaire.
Yeah, this is the most boring way. It's stupendously boring.
Love it, man.
Hey, but Ethan, how much this one I know, I just ask you so you can tell them.
Mm.
How much can they borrow? Let's say the property value go up by like, I don't know, 1 million over a number of years. Can they borrow out 1 million, or how does it work?
So for example, right, the property value go up by $1 million, right? Let's say 3 million to 4 million lah. Right? Then what happens is you'll be able to take up 75% of the valuation minus the outstanding loan minus CPF use. Then you'll be able to gear up. So like for example, 4 million, then the amount becomes 3 million minus the outstanding loan, maybe 2 million. Then you left with 1 million. Then if your CPF usage is 500K, then you can take out 500K.
Okay.
But the good thing is I got the valuation from all the banks, so we are able to actually
juice up the valuation. I mean, not say juice up, sorry, wrong use of word. Pick the most optimal one.
Pick the one that value you the highest.
Okay, you say one, I know I say one. Okay.
So like depends on your objective lah at the end of the day. But this is already quite hedge because 75% valuation is within their limits. Then minus away the CPF use also. So after a while, then you'll be able to do this. Or if your property increase by a significant margin because you pick the right property, shout out on Pete's Invest with Pete service where you'll be able to get your property strategy right, choose the right property, and then your increase can be higher lah.
But guys, just let y'all know, this is still subjected to your TDS and also income eligibility as well, right? Like depending on your income lah, basically.
Correct. And I think now we can also talking about income, we can also answer Bomb's question.
Oh, where is it? Oh, okay, here.
So he wants me to share a little bit about showing funds, and I think this is a good segue because you see, if you got extra funds to show, right, before you invest or whatsoever, before you increase or whatsoever, right, you can actually show an unpledged funds, which means, for example, you got 500,000 spare or $100,000 spare. Then what happens is you'll be able to show the banks, right, that hey, I actually got 100K extra. Will you be able to lend me more money? So you need to show on 2 times, 1 time on application and 1 time upon disbursement. So that is to answer Bomb's question.
So you show 2 times. After the 2 times, let's say is unpledged, then you can just take the money and do whatever you want, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
sweet.
Okay.
Hey guys, by the way, got any more questions, do type in the chat. We can see it here, then we can also answer. Okay, so thanks Bomb, and also I think just now Kelvin for the question. Okay. All right. Anything else, my friend?
Okay, so I think this is where we want to go into the prediction.
Yes, I was going to ask you, talk about interest rate.
So we can see over the last 18 years, we actually follow trend quite well. The purple color line is SORA, and then the green color line is effective federal funds rate. Correct. And what happens over here is that we'll be able to see based on where the federal funds rate is likely to go. Once again, Jerome Powell cannot predict interest rate, neither do you and I. So this is the best guide forward, and this is what we can actually guess the EFFR. But from my numbers, we actually do
this is based on their projection, right? Their current projection.
Correct. So we step by step, we add in their numbers first. This is their roadmap of where interest rates likely to go in the next few years. Then based on the correlation, I went to count again. Once again, you know, math is my favorite language nowadays. So after I calculated,
same for me, but I don't think a lot of people else.
That's why you and I have jobs, man. We make life easier for other people.
Yeah, you don't like to use your brain, I use my brain for you.
Correct. And because of that, then we get a rough plot on where it is. And to make life a little bit nicer, I actually went to do the Picasso so that you're roughly able to visualize. And I think this is a good way to look at the trend. And from there, we'll be able to see roughly what rates SORA will be lah. So for example, over here, let me see if I can zoom in. Yes, I can.
Yeah, can.
Over here, right? Okay, so this is as much as possible already.
A bit too big, I cannot see the words. Really. Okay.
Okay. So as you can see, right, the trend over here, right, we can see that the SORA rates next year is going to be 3.25 there, about plus minus 10%. Following year 2.59%. So plus minus 10% once again, and then the subsequent year 2.12. So this is where we want to be able to see, right? If we were to add our, by the way, right? So before I get ahead of myself, let me unzoom out, then show you guys the current. Zoom way too out. Okay.
Cannot
So,
see it.
so one of the things that I want to share with you guys will be the rates. Let me go into the rates today. One moment. Okay. Excellent.
Okay.
So the 3-month SORA rates, right? As you can see, when we are looking at about 800K and above, you are looking at 0.5 already. So if we
It's
are
a damn
looking,
low spread already.
one of the lower spreads already.
Have we ever seen anything less than 0.5? No, right?
God, actually,
God,
if you are higher, right, we can actually look at 0.45%.
Okay.
So we can actually deviate rates lah. So depends on the loan size and everything. And like I said, we can actually take the smarter rates, which is the 1-month SORA rate if you're looking at going into floating rates. Because 1-month SORA, you will be able to get a bit more, you'll be able to get the average lower faster lah, right? And you're looking at the 1-year fixed rate. I think that this is one of the easier ones because after 2 years, we look at their rates at 2.59. We add a 0.5, that's already like a 3.09.
3.09, sorry, yeah.
3.09. So looking at around the same size, right? The first year you probably able to profit based on the 3.2. If you're looking at the 2 years fixed at the same loan size, once again around 3%, you're looking at these 2 years, right? 3%, I think one of the better rates. And make sure to, once again, do not kena the thereafter rates. The thereafter rates seldom worth it unless you're
not
selling.
Not worthy one. Plus one is not worthy. You will just refinance by then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're looking to sell your property, this is where you might want to kena the thereafter rate because
correct.
Yeah, it's a whole conversation altogether.
Yeah.
Let's have that together.
Yeah. So guys, for those of you who are thinking of selling your place, but now you're also in the midst of like, hey, I can kind of refinance my loan. Before you refinance a loan, please go and contact Ethan, let him take a look so that he can plan for you. Because otherwise, a lot of times, a lot of people say, hey, P, I want to sell. Then suddenly, I look at their loan document and then, hey, my friend, if you sell now, you will get a penalty, right? Because the bank tie you down for, let's say, like 2 years or even 3 years sometimes. Okay, so before you make the move of refinancing or even repricing even, okay, go and check with Ethan and his team to make sure that you are doing the correct thing. Because this kind of thing, the moment you do wrong, you will be locked in for another like 1-2 years. You cannot sell. Yeah. Then it's a painful one. Okay.
Correct. And if you were to want to sell, right, that's like for $1 million, if you get the penalty of 1.5%, that's 15K.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It might not be a lot.
It adds up.
Yeah. You want to not put as much money on the table as possible. Keep it in your pockets. And that's where you and I come in.
Sweet.
Okay. So yeah, I think that is my portion where I want to be able to help people save as much as possible.
So guys, I just quickly summarize. If let's say Ethan went a bit too deep and you didn't catch it. Okay, so maybe I ask Ethan. Right now, does it make more sense to go floating or fixed now?
Once again, I'm not God, but it looks more profitable to go for the fixed rate at this point of time.
Okay.
Yeah, you look at the floating rate, once again, you look at the floating rate is 2 years later, even if we are looking at the EFFR projections, right? The 2 years later is 3.1 already.
Yeah. Okay. So Rick is asking what's the best fixed rate. Okay, so let's say because Rick, it depends on how much you borrow. Okay. So let's say we take $1 million as a gauge. $1 million is quite standard. Let's say $1 million, currently fixed. Okay, cannot say which bank, right? Okay, but what is the lowest fixed rate now?
The lowest fixed rate at this point of time above $1 million is 2.95 for the
2 year.
2 years. But then the 1 year, right? It depends once again lah. The 1 year is actually gonna give you a bit higher. But on the second year, you'll be able to then change the rate again, give you the flexibility. And the second year actually follows SORA. So if you don't want to do anything, you can actually continue with the SORA rates.
Because the spread is also quite good. It's quite low also.
Yeah.
Okay?
So
So
from there, we can talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
You sign up later, and then we chit chat.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of you, for this kind of finances, you may not be very comfortable to put on the chat. So I probably wouldn't ask you all to type in your finances. Okay. So another question, someone type in the Facebook. So Ethan, right now, if I have a loan to reprice, should I look at repricing or refinance?
Okay. So this is where it gets a little bit sticky lah. So when you are within the bank, right, you are able to get the bank's rates. And sometimes the internal rate and the promotional rates are different. So if you're inside...
we talked about this the last live stream, right? You were saying. Okay. You repeat to them again in case they forget.
So like, for example, right, if you're within the bank, right, you are only able to get the rates that the bank offer you, the fixed rate or the floating rates. But when you're looking at other banks, right, they actually give you promotional rates. They also give you the legal and valuation subsidy. So moving over cost zero or almost zero lah.
Almost zero lah.
With the bank for 3 years. And yeah, sometimes even profitable. And you can use your CPF for the legal fees. So if you want
wait, legal fees CPF can?
Can. You can use CPF to pay for legal fees.
Goodness, I didn't know that.
Don't worry, next round, then we can help you. It's like a mini gear up, no?
Yeah, it's like a mini gear up. This is insane. Okay.
Yeah. But that's it. CPF money is not monopoly money lah.
Yeah. Hey guys, CPF still your money. Okay, so please don't get too excited over it. Okay.
Right.
It's so right now, okay, guys, let me bring on my slide. Just want to share a little bit. Okay, so just now the important thing I think for most of you to remember is that the Federal Reserve is pretty much kind of committed to lowering the rates already, right? They even projected it here for you, 4.6 next year, 3.6 next year. So generally, Singapore is like a fair bit. Like I think just now, Ethan, you put in like 20%, about 20%.
Somewhere there.
20% lower lah. Okay, and I want to emphasize this. A lot of people keep telling me, okay, I tell you I don't Ethan, I don't know whether you see this in your industry, right? In my industry of investing, when people talk about bearish news, talk about things dying, crashing, a lot of attention on it. I can tell you, the bearish YouTube channel on YouTube, right, always get the most views on. It's just like, we call it bear porn. Basically, like people just like to watch it, There is a very famous guy who is like born, always talk about the world coming to an end on YouTube channel about finances on. Okay, I won't say names. And his views is damn high one. But I can tell you, he's been talking about this for freaking like 1.5 years already. He would have missed like 30% of gains since then, So guys, like what Ethan said, we are not here for the business of predicting the future. We are here just to invest, right? Your job is to make money, and we make an educated guess about what's going to potentially happen and position ourselves, right? Be it you're investing in stock market or property. And like what Ethan has shown us, right now, previously they were speeding up. They were like, let's increase the speed, right? Accelerate. And now they stop accelerating. And in fact, they haven't accelerated for 3 full quarters, right? 3 FOMC, right? So if they're not accelerating already, then the outcome, I think, is quite clear. They are stopping to tighten. And because they can see the effect of it. Right, so a lot of people are like, Pete, all the bear porn, all the bearish things are still ongoing. And to me, actually, when they are very bearish, I'm super happy. I hope they continue to be bearish, because if they continue to be bearish, or even the majority continue to be bearish, right, then there's a good chance that the market will continue to be bullish. Yeah, that's a sentiment play that I was talking about. Okay, so from here, right, okay, I just want to go through very quickly, some of the things that came out recently that got some people very bearish because they saw the news and they saw this news. Let me tap, right? And where's my news article? Oh, wait. Okay, but basically there was a news article that talked about like, the Singapore employment rate not very good, something like that. They say like the job vacancy drop, whatever, right? Okay, so I decided, rather than reading the news on its own, which I don't know whether the reporter does his or her job, I go and dig out the proper MOM report, okay? And they say this year the employment this quarter went up by 23,000. 23,000, and most importantly, resident employment, that means people who will buy property. Okay, because if you're not resident, you buy property, you pay 60% ABSD. Okay, so 2,800 employment. And this is a reversal of the contract of minus 1,200 in the last quarter. So to me, is this, this is bad news, man. I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, so then I thought, okay, maybe you've got more bad news. So I go and dig further. Okay, then they say, ratio of job vacancy to unemployed people decline, but a significant proportion of job vacancy remain in growth sector. Okay, so last time is like close to 200 jobs got 100 people unemployed. And 150 jobs available, 100 unemployed. Then to me, isn't this a good news?
Yeah.
Isn't this a good news? That means, guys, I don't know why people see this as a bad news, but isn't this a good news? It's telling you that there are fewer jobs that are not being filled. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. And I think my perspective is correct. Why? Because when you look at overall retrenchment, like 4,000, right? But employment went up by 23,000. That means there are more people entering the job market, and therefore the vacancy is lower, right? If the market is like super a lot of vacancy, you know what does having super a lot of vacancy means?
High inflation.
High inflation, high unemployment.
Correct.
Right? That's crazy. That's stagflation. Nobody want. And I think the most important thing that a lot of people need to look at when they have all the bearish sentiment in their thinking, right, is that the unemployment numbers is still record low. It's incredible, right? At the overall level, our unemployment is 1.9. Less than 2. US, if they go below 3, they're really laughing. We are at 1.9. Okay? Then, if you look at long-term unemployment, that means people who more than, I think when they say long-term, like more than 6 months or something, okay? It's even lower, guys. It's 0.7 only. That means over 99.3% of Singaporeans are long-term employed. Correct or not? If I take the opposite side of the picture, right? So to me, it's like, hey guys, this is bearish, man. Okay, so guys, I'm not here to be bullish, to drum the bull tone all the time. No, definitely not, right? But what I want to just say is very clearly, is that the property market and even the stock market goes up approximately 70 to 80% of the time, versus on a bearish market. Okay, so the bearish people, right, is like a broken clock theory. They will eventually be correct one, right? If you have a broken clock, right, it will still be correct twice a day, right? The saying goes. So if people keep saying, hey, Pete, crisis, yes, they will eventually be correct, because there will eventually be a crisis. No doubt about that. But the thing is this, when will that happen? I don't know. Then are you going to miss out the rest of your investment gains? Right? If you stay out of the market since COVID until now because you keep listening to all those bearish people, you will have missed like 200% gain type one. It's crazy. Okay? It's crazy. And I just want to give you another analogy that I heard from one of my clients, because I was talking to this about him. He said, Pete, actually what you say is quite true. Then I said, what do you mean? He said, Pete, eventually we all die, Then, what the heck you were talking about? Right? Well, got very morbid. Then I said, yeah, we eventually all die. Then he said, but it doesn't mean that we don't live, what? Right? So, guys, if you're investing, if you're thinking about the crisis and you keep saying, because a lot of times people, when come to mortgage, actually the real question they want to ask, and I think Ethan, they also ask you, is, should I buy now?
Okay.
Correct or not? They will
I love this question.
Ask you one. Should I buy now or should I wait? Okay, so this is the last part already. I promise you guys will talk about it. come, let's talk about what do we think the interest rate will affect the market. Let's talk about property first. Real estate first. Hey guys, by the way, this is the Ethan and Pete chit chat session already. For those of you who don't want to listen, can go already. But most importantly, those of you who need mortgage help, go and apply this link. Okay, and type the correct link. Don't go and type wrong link, then got scam, then kind of tell me. I don't know how to help you. Okay, so rebrand.ly/unbeatable loans. Okay, come.
Thank you.
So Ethan, now interest rate potentially lowering, and this part I must say I'm humbly wrong because I really thought Jerome Powell will just hold the rates high for longer, but this time around they explicitly say they expect a 0.75% drop next year. I was like, wow. So how do you think it will affect the real estate?
So in terms of real estate, right, I like to think about it as Singapore has our own special bubble. I think the thing
you say this one, a lot of people will hate you on. I said
like
this so many times. People always like, Pete, you are nuts. You drink the Kool-Aid, right? You think that the Singapore property doesn't drop. And then, I mean, it will drop, but very different.
I think if you're looking at 10, 20 years, right, I don't think that it will drop that much.
Yeah, like if you tell me next year
right?
have a big... Actually, I don't even think... Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that first, but I don't see anything in the horizon that will crash the market, to be honest.
Neither do I. I think it's going to be probably flat or whatsoever. Yeah. But
guys, so one thing, people out there who are all saying bad to you, and is making you think that, hey, maybe I shouldn't buy property now, maybe I shouldn't invest now. You need to ask them, why? Why do you think market will drop? And if they tell you that, because US has a lot of debt, so therefore debt cannot sustain, like reasons like this, right, doesn't stand one because US had debt for the longest time, right? Right? Like, okay. Hey, sorry, I keep cutting you off. Come.
Okay, no problem. So I think at the end of the day, what affects prices is supply and demand. So number one, 80% of government, 80% of the land in Singapore, right? And Singapore actually is a very, very small country. So Singapore is 726 kilometers square, and 80% of it is government owned.
Say.
And over here, right, you'll be able to see Singapore as a very small country, right, actually hold on to quite a bit of some titles. So if you can pull up my slide, I show you.
Let me bring it up.
So the thing is, right, why should you invest in property in Singapore, right? Number one, Singapore is the best airport out in the world. You know, they always drum this out. Singapore is one of the best airport, one of the busiest airport, and this is most places. And then when you're looking at the shipping container, Singapore is the second largest one. I don't have access, but yes, it is the second largest one, second only to Shanghai. And also Singapore is where it is the easiest to have our business conducted, and you can see retains best business environment for the last 15 years. So okay, then my slide is done already. So I think at the end of the day, with limited supply and a lot of things going for Singapore, and healthcare is good, security is good, stability. I think I better stop myself before I start singing Majulah Singapura. But but I think at the end of the day, right, you also need to have a roof over your head. And if you account for rent, because what's the alternative of not owning a property? Renting, right? Then this is where life gets a bit more tough really. Right, because number one, you cannot pay for your rent in CPF. Number two, you don't have any principal repayment. So that's why I think in Singapore we have one of the highest property ownership rates, because it just makes sense.
To me, right, another thing to add on is that right now, with interest rate dropping, how I think it will affect the property market is very simple. Right now, at this moment in time, how many of you, maybe all of you are listening, you just type in the chat, how many of you all have money in like fixed D, treasury, short-term treasury bills, 1-2 years, or like money market fund, those like in Weibo, Mumu, or Tiger Broker, right? How many of you all have, right? And I would say, honest to heart, majority of people will at least have a couple of thousands or even to millions of dollars inside, right? And recently, CNBC actually had this article, right? Although I don't really have access to it, but I really agree with the title itself. Okay, the title is this: nearly $6 trillion is sitting in money market fund. 6 trillion. Okay, so I don't know how much of this 6 trillion is in Singapore, but I don't think it's a very small amount, maybe a few hundred billion, I don't know, right? Then the question is, when the money market fund no longer gives you that 5% interest right now, and it's going to go back down to the 2% eventually, then where will all this money go? Right? It has to flow somewhere. Money is like energy, it cannot be destroyed. Okay, the money has to go somewhere, and where will it go? And my prediction is that it will go to other assets. And I said this during the recent stress. Property and stock market is the most natural place it will flow to. Why? Because people are familiar with it. Right? People are taking money from something that is almost risk-free, like money market fund. They will not suddenly go and put into some crypto and don't know what one. Okay, right? They will go and put in real estate first, right? Or they put in the stock market. So that is one reason why I'm still quite bullish on the property market and the stock market. It's not just because interest rate drop, then a lot more people go and look for Eaton, go and borrow more money, right, that can buy bigger houses. That's partially one, right? The two main thing is I still see GDP going up. The government already said that they're predicting GDP to go up next year. I think it's like 1.9, is it something like that, or 2%, something like that, right? Need to check the forecasters report, something like that. But in short, GDP is going up. GDP is going up means what? Overall wages going up, especially in the top tier of salary, right? Sometimes people tell me, hey Pete, wow, Singapore average salary $5,000 or $4,000. How to buy real property when it's like 1 million plus? How to afford? I say, bro, it's not the average people buy condo, ma. that's the honest answer I can give. Is your top 20% of income people who are buying condominium. So think about those group of people and don't think about the average. You need to be very, very certain over here, right? So that is one reason. To me, the two main reasons is this: GDP increasing, more people can afford it, so your TDSR can borrow more. Okay, and this one, all this money sitting on the sideline, sitting on the money market fund, right? So just see lah. Will I be wrong? I think I don't have a best track record of always being right. Although this time around I was correct lah. I earned $10. Okay, but jokes aside, I might be wrong, but the fact is the number it doesn't lie. The $6 trillion is there. Will they just continue to sit in the money market fund and earn 2%? I don't think so. I doubt so, right? And Ken Yap asked a question: why are so many people investing in gold? Actually, I don't know a lot of people investing in gold. Maybe they buy it as a form of hedging, or they go like, there are people who buy gold bar and really put at home, or they go and buy gold coin and really put at home. Can, but firstly, it's very expensive. There's a premium that people will charge. But to me, gold may not do so well in the coming years. Wait some more. Because think about it. Gold is what? Gold is the safe haven asset. People go there when they feel scared. They think that the economy is going to freaking crash and whatever. But if now interest rate coming down, people are jamming the GDP is going to go up and still higher, and a lot of people buy gold bar. I don't know lah. I don't know. Okay, but having said that, gold prices has been on the rise, right? On the back sentiment of all the very bearish people, right? Since October, gold right to like I think 1,800 to 2,900. Okay, but to me, I'm not a big investor in gold, right? So, and in fact, gold has seen a bit of retracement. Will it continue to retrace? I don't know, but to me, I'd rather buy something that generates income, which includes property and stocks. You can buy dividend stocks if you want. Okay. Okay, guys, any more questions? Sorry, Ethan, you want to say something?
Yeah, I support your GDP growth forecast. In fact, the MAS survey of professional forecast actually do also. This one, they expect it to expand about 2.3%. So this is to support what you say lah.
Hey guys, so next year, if your boss don't increase your pay by at least 2.3%, right, you must tell him, boss, the GDP is going up by 2.3%. You need to increase my salary.
And for those of you thinking to quit your job, please refinance first.
Yes. Wow, very important. I give you a hint. After you refinance, then you quit your job, right? You can keep the loan.
Yes.
But if you quit your job, then you go and take the loan, the bank will tell you fly kite.
Unless your new job gives you more money lah. But
Okay, unless you found another job. But let's say you just quit without a backup plan. You say, oh, I'm going to take a sabbatical. Then yeah, your house also goes sabbatical. Or you cannot find property for.
True.
Okay, yeah. Hey, most welcome, Ken. Thanks for being here. Okay, we are just nice. 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay, so I think that's broadly. Okay, let me just talk a little bit about the stock market. Okay, because that's my area lah, and I know some of you are here for that as well. Okay, let me just bring out the charts. Then I'll show you all. Where is it? Okay, let me bring up the screen. Where is it? Okay, it's coming up.
Excellent.
Okay, 看得到吗？看到。Okay, so all right. So what is this? This is actually not S&P. Sorry, I wanted to show you S&P. Okay, S&P is here. So to all the bearish people who have been saying bearish when they saw this crash, they say, they know they very funny. They'll say, crash. Then when it go out, right, dead cat bounce. Then when it drop, they damn happy. Then when it bounce again, dead cat bounce. Then, the dead cat like go higher and higher. So guys, this is where the market is going. I think for those of you who have basic charting experience, I think this is quite clear an uptrend, right? I don't know how better to explain this. Okay, but in the near term, will there be potential retracement opportunity? I would say the answer is very much possible, right? In fact, I think if the market just like that, it's not a good market. This is a bubble market. I don't want a bubble market. Okay, I don't want a bubble market. I want a market that's sustainable, and I want it to be the climb stairs one. One step at a time, slowly climb up. Right? To me, that's the key. And what we can see here on even like a 5-year basis, okay, you can see that we haven't even hit the previous high. A lot of people forgot about this. We haven't even hit the previous high. That's how much opportunity the market has given us. Okay, and it doesn't take a genius, guys, to just scroll back to the past and ask yourself, whenever there's a big crash, we will pass the previous high one before we say like, hey, time to correct already. For example, COVID, we went past the previous high how many times before we go back? Right? If you look at the previous one, the 2019 one, I make it bigger. The 2019 crash. After it crashed, we also went past the previous high quite significantly. If we revisit the 200 average, quite a lot. So where are we right now? We are not close. We haven't even passed this thing, So if you take the track record, then the question is, where do you think before we see a retracement back to the 200? I think maybe like 6,000 没问题 to be honest. Okay, but that's just my prediction. It doesn't mean that the market won't fluctuate. I'm just giving you a long-term perspective of what's happening, right? And one thing I like about the current market, right, is that it's not just a few of the FANG stocks running up the mountain, right? For example, you look at the RSP, which is the general market, right? They equalize the S&P 500, also went up, right? So this is the equal weighted S&P 500. That means Apple over here is not weighted at 11%. Apple is weighted at what is 100 divided by 500? 0.2? Is it 0.2? Yeah, it's at 0.2%, right? So even this ETF is going up. That means it's a broader market advance. All right, so that's my overall opinion. And the fact that the Fed is starting to lower rates, and this time around they give quite definitive guidance. Actually, one thing that shocked me is that Jerome Powell was willing to put in a statement that it will drop by 0.75% next year. So this gives a lot of business a lot of certainty on what is going to happen to interest rate and how they can conduct their business. I think that's the most important thing that business owners want to know. Otherwise, how they go and take loan and do their business? Very, very tough, right? So this is one of the important things. And the bond traders are clearly telling us, last thing, the bond traders are telling us, interest rate 应该是继续下. Okay, so this is the 20-year Treasury, TLT, very famous ETF, right? And for the first time, after very, very long, we are above the 200. The what is this? The 50 moving average. Right? It is not 50 day. This is 50 week. Right? That means it's a yearly moving average. Of course, are there moments where it went out and then it continued to track down? There is, okay, but I think this time round, back then Federal Reserve never say that, hey, we're gonna drop by 0.75%, but this time round they did. So I think that's quite a strong indication. Okay, for those of you who are buying Singapore, I don't know what to say. Singapore is just a very flat market. It's just not moving much. Okay, so if you're buying Singapore, you need to find something else to do. And what else? Hong Kong. Hong Kong is still down. One thing that was very cute is that Japan, the land of the rising stock market. Okay. Ethan, I gotta tell you, right? I've been very bullish Japan for some time.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, and I'm so happy that it panned out. After Jerome Powell talk about the rate hawk, look at the yen. Boom. Hey, by the way, this one, the boom down is not yen drop, it's US dollar drop. That means yen strengthen. Yen strengthen. Okay, and after that happened, you look at Nikkei. The Nikkei just voila. Okay, so guys, a lot of times people will tell you, hey, don't buy Japan, lost decade, lost what, lost underwear, lost whatever. Hey, guys, a lot of the things in the world is very simple. Actually, I really subscribe to this the older I become. If a lot of people tell you this thing cannot buy, unless it's something that they objectively has an expert opinion on, right? You just go opposite of them. You are most likely correct. I give you an example. When it comes to food, everybody can be considered as an expert because when you eat, you know it's good or bad. Correct?
True.
So if everybody tell you this bak chor mee is bad, right? Please don't go and eat that bak chor mee because a lot of people tell you it's bad. Because they are objectively the expert. They can tell you it's bad. But in the stock market, almost nobody is objectively the expert. Right? It's not bak chor mee. Okay? So if everybody or almost everybody keep telling you this place cannot invest, please open your eyes big, and go and ask yourself, actually can or not? Okay? Actually can or not? So Japan is a very, very good example that the returns is a lot better than a lot of people expected. A lot of people thought that Japan was stagnant, never move market. Hey, wait, you know how much market move or not? Okay, all right. Okay, so that's the main thing I want to share. Okay, any more questions? Let's see.
One.
Del Z Chu asked Ethan, I intend to partial redeem my loan. After that, immediately refinance to another bank. Possible or not?
Possible if you're outside of the lock-in period.
Yes.
So the thing is, if you have a lot of spare cash and really don't know what to do with it, there is also no harm with like paying down your loan, especially if you're looking at a private property. Then in the future, if you got something to do with the money, then I mean like your next cycle then you can consider doing a gear up so that this once again becomes a piggy bank. But you need to know HDB is a one-way track. So once you pay down, then only after you sell away the property then
so once you do that, the money go in cannot come out, right? So if it's a HDB, think about it 3 times, 4 times before you do it. Private property, quite flexible you can take it out quite easily.
For me, we chit chat about it.
Yeah. So you can go and apply at the link. Wait, where's the link? I also forgot where's the link, right? Okay. Yeah, the link's over here. Okay, rebrand.ly/unbeatable loans. Okay, maybe I just put in the chat. Okay. 是吗？是这个吗？ Okay, I put in the chat. I can only put in one chat. I put in the Facebook, YouTube one. Okay, you all can go to this link, rebrand.ly/unbeatables, and you can contact Ethan. You may or may not get Ethan. So I think the fastest finger get Ethan because Ethan will be usually screening through, then he will allocate to his team. Okay, so if you all want Ethan personally talk to you, fastest finger first. Okay. Victoria is asking, did you say 6,000? Yes, Victoria, I said 6,000. Yeah. Okay, I said 6,000. Okay, let's see if I'm correct. Okay, let's see if I'm correct. What about Hang Seng? Hang Seng move like just now I showed you Hang Seng doesn't move. It's just a problem with China right now. Okay, all right. Okay, so guys, that's all we have to share with you. Wow, actually sorry, we extended a bit. We went to 1 hour and 20 minutes. But guys, do you all enjoy the session? I hope you all learn a lot, right? I don't think we have another FOMC before Christmas. Okay, so just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for following the Invest with Pete community, and also follow this series of interest rate discussion with Ethan. Okay, I think many of you have benefited, especially for those of you who did your repricing, refinancing with Ethan, right? And a lot of you come back to me and say, wow, how good it is that Ethan give them some ideas how to restructure the plan and things like that. In fact, we even have one client who Ethan helped, right? Is a multi-stakeholder kind of thing to buy a property, right? And he made it work. So Ethan, thanks for helping the community a lot. I think they really cherish your creative thinking.
Not just me lah. My partner also very, very creative in the way he thinks. One of the better people. He's also really good in options, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, we can talk.
Yeah. High caliber one. Next time I bring him out, we chat.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody, once again, wish everybody a very, very good year end. Merry Christmas. Okay. If you want to settle all your loan stuff before Christmas, go to the link over here and get in touch with Ethan and his team. Okay.
Thank you very much.
So that's all we have. Right. Thank you so much. Any questions you all have, you all can go to the Telegram group right here at the bottom. Once again, remember is with the word real, then Invest with Pete. Okay, so don't go and join the wrong Telegram group, right? Hopefully nobody is still in that group. Everybody come out, right? Okay, so if you have any questions about what we discussed today, you can actually ask in the chat, in the comment section in the Telegram as well. Ethan is in the Telegram also. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Who else? Deacon. Thank you, Derek. Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.